I'll do it.
Hey man, Cigar Chronicles. We 6 months in today, man.
Yes,
6 months in
indeed.
today.
Yes,
Definitely,
sir.
definitely. Yeah. We 6 months in today. Like I said, it's just gonna be me and E on here. We just gonna be chopping it up. Definitely thank you for tuning in. We definitely like to, as normal, we like to thank our sponsors. We will actually we got a new sponsor today. Ernst, talk about this new sponsor we got, man.
Yes, indeed. We have a new sponsor, which is Cajun Mouth, Louisiana Kitchen. We'll be opening soon in Las Vegas, Nevada. So if you're in Las Vegas, here within the next few weeks, preferably, hopefully by this week, come see us at Cajun Mouth, Louisiana Kitchen, 3441 West Sahara Avenue, Las Vegas, Nevada. Thank you guys in advance.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. BS3 Network, as usual. Thank you so much for the opportunity for us to be able to have this platform to host our podcast. Shout out to Roku TV, definitely all of the podcast affiliates. Also, last but not least, definitely want to thank Wing Snob. They just have better wings. Crowns by Trey. You know
Yes,
where
sir.
we at. Yeah, so let's just get into it, E, man. How you feeling, man? We 6 months in today, man.
Did we say Soul Brother Cigars?
Soul Brother Cigar, my bad. Charge it to my head, not my heart. My
Yes,
head, not my heart.
man, let me tell you something, man. It's been an exciting journey, man, to be able to be number one in 6 months doing this podcast with who I consider a true friend and partner in the Cigar Chronicles movement. Thank all of our guests from the beginning, from city councilmen, state representatives, senators, JPs, all of the above, and just labor leaders as well as just leaders in the community to come on this podcast. And the best is yet to come. That's all I'm gonna
Yeah,
say.
yeah. And man, not to even toot our own horn, man. I think we've definitely had some heavy hitters, some heavy dignitaries in the community, some movers and shakers, and it just feels good that they entrust us, with our platform, to be able to, like I said, just have one-on-one conversations with them and just kind of, just kind of see, what they have going on in the community and just, excuse me, doing it all over Cigar.
Yes, indeed. And again, we have some folks in the lineup forthcoming. I think it's going to be some dynamic guests. So stay tuned. Continue to support us. We'll go to our YouTube, go to our Facebook page, Cigar Chronicles, The Cigar Chronicles on YouTube, all of our BS3 network. Check us out. If you haven't seen any of our previous shows, you can go to those platforms and see them. You can listen to them on Spotify, Apple. Is it Apple TV? iTunes. I'm sorry.
iTunes.
So you can go and listen to those previous as well. I'm excited for what the future holds for us for the months and years to come.
I agree, man. Just like I said, with us being 6 months in, what has been some of your favorite guests that we've had on the show, man?
Man, it's been a few. Senator West, he dropped some nuggets. Just haven't. We had Jika Williams on twice, so thank you, Miss Jika, who's running for JP. We had Jane Hamilton, Jasmine Crockett, Raphael, and Chia. Man, I was very impressed
Where his cool lad.
I mean, just too cool. Wesley Gonzalez. I mean, God, man, we've had quite a few on the show, man. I don't want to miss anybody. I think everybody we've had on it thus far has dropped sometime. Yeah. Can't forget about is she the county clerk in Arkansas?
Yeah. God,
I forgot her name.
Terry Hollingsworth. Terry Hollingsworth.
Oh man.
Yeah, definitely shout out to Terry.
Yes, indeed. And we would like to know who you guys would like to see on the podcast in the future as well. So if you have some ideas of who you would like to have on the show, if you would like to address some concerns here, feel free to put them in the comments. Let us know who you would like to see, and we'll try our best to get them on. And they don't necessarily have to be in the Dallas County area. They can be abroad. So please, if you know anybody that's you would like to see on our show, we won't hesitate to push to get them on.
Yeah, and also, I know right now, like I said, we're kind of going. We're doing it through this avenue and network, but we will be doing some live streams at different places coming up soon. So, like I said, this is just the beginning. Okay. And it's like I said, man, definitely good to do with somebody that I can definitely call a brother, and a friend. So, like I said, it's definitely been good. We definitely appreciate everybody that's tuned in, everybody that's chimed in, and everything from top to bottom. We definitely appreciate it. So we definitely appreciate it.
And I'll be remiss, and I meant to say that earlier. I want to give a shout out to my business partner Xavier and Cornelia Harris, he's the founder of Cajun Mouth. So again, if you're in Las Vegas, please frequent our spot. I think you'll be impressed. Thank you. We have the boss man on here, Ben Sutter, a dope 6
boss man.
We appreciate you. We appreciate you, buddy. From the moment that we started with you guys, man, we appreciate you having faith in us. You and God, I'm having a brain fart with names today.
That's that yak over there, man.
Yeah, no, this is not yak. This would be like Jigger said. This is Japanese whiskey.
Oh, look, you said there was your peak in there too.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you a question. As far as how did you, just for you, Trey, how did you get involved in the political process? And how did you get involved, especially in working in politics? And if you want to kind of go into what you're doing currently and what you've done in the past.
Okay, yeah, no problem, man. Like I've been actually working politics since 2006. And honestly, what really got me into like wanting to do it on a full-time basis is when Al Gore was running for president, and all the numbers were counted in. He had just won Florida, and he was pretty much set to be the president. And then all this recount, and it just went back and forth, and he conceded. And I just kind of felt like damn, why'd you concede? When you had pretty much the presidency won. And that kind of put, kind of ignited a fire in me. I, never had aspirations of running for office, but I always wanted to be behind the scenes, just kind of trying to make things happen. So currently, and what I've been doing since 2006, I'm a political consultant. So basically, what I do is, people will hire me to run different aspects of their campaign. I've been campaign manager. I've worked, man, probably every campaign from top to bottom. I've worked the last 4 or 5 presidential campaigns in some kind of aspect, in some kind of form. So, I don't like being the loudest one in the room. I like being the one in the corner, and everybody know that, he helped make things happen. So that's how I got involved, and that's kind of what I do and everything. So, and actually, man, talk about your labor experience and how'd you get involved with CWA and all that.
No problem. Well, I've been with AT&T, which that's our who I was hired through since 1997, and from there I've been in the capacity of vice president. I actually became president of our local, and then our local was then merged with Fort Worth local, and ended up coming back to Dallas. And then from Dallas, we were merged with local 6215, which is the current local I'm with now. And I had a person who I think highly that was she was executive vice president for local 6215, the local I'm with now, and she actually asked if I would run for executive vice president. And without a question, I was like, absolutely. So she's been instrumental in my life, even when I was with my own individual local. Her name is Nancy Hall. So shout out to Nancy Hall. I'm gonna throw a shameless plug. She's the owner of Hall's Chicken. So if you ever go to Hall's Chicken, say hello to Miss Hall and her family. Just let her know that I gave her a shout out, and she means the world to me. And she knows that. I don't think it's no secret. And then from there, by being the executive vice president, I became the legislative director for the local. So in that capacity, my job is dealing directly with the political piece of CWA. So with that, I deal with labor leaders from city council, school board, all the way up to the governor, all the way to presidents, and we do like campaigning, block walking, all of these things. And in that capacity, I have a dynamic legislative co-chair, Robin Johnson, and some legislative committees who just does great work in the community when it comes to phone banking, block walk. We're probably notorious for phone banking and block walk because we help in several campaigns, and we're gonna continue to do so and be that beacon and try to get labor-friendly candidates elected. Again, labor-friendly candidates elected. A lot of times we'll do the work as far as getting candidates elected, and then as soon as they get in the office, they forget where they come from, and then just forget, the folks that got them there. And I've said this on previous shows. We're not going to let you slide by with that no more. So if we're doing the work for you and you're not doing anything for us, we're not going to be supporting you. And I don't care what you are. You can be pro-Democrat all you want to, but if you're not doing the work, we're not going to support you going forward.
Hey Ernest, that's Miss Hollisworth to ask you how the restaurant going.
It's going well. We had our inspection on yesterday. We had a conditional approval to open, so we have a couple of things we got to finish up, which my partner's already done. So we should get hopefully a unconditional approval, God willing, by Friday, and open it up this weekend. So if everything goes right, we'll be doing a soft opening with a grand opening down the road, hopefully in the second week of May. So more to come on that, and I'll definitely let you know once that happens.
Yeah. Look. I'll be in the house, especially our love for boxing. So definitely got a spot to go to now. We'll go down there to Vegas and check out some of these fights.
Yes, indeed. Who is this? Love it. We need more labor-friendly elected officials.
That's that was Terry.
Absolutely. So we got to stop giving Democrats who we've elected in the past, give them a pass just because they're Democrats. Now we're going to have labor-friendly candidates that's going to make sure that regardless, and not going to be just when it's convenient for them to be active, but now across the board, you're going to support labor-friendly issues throughout your term in office.
Yes, sir.
I'm standing on that. So.
Yes, sir. Man, let me ask you this, man. How do you feel about us finally getting a black woman, black queen on the Supreme Court, man? How you feel about that, man?
I'm ecstatic. I actually posted as soon as I was watching that, like I was watching Martin reruns when it came on. I was glued to the TV because the simple fact is, number one, it's well overdue. Number two, it should not be based on her just being a black woman. Her credentials enough to be sufficient for her to have been nominated for that highest court. Thankfully, we got her through, and I think she's going to do some phenomenal work by being the first female African American Supreme Court justice. So, a lot of women, I can say for a fact there was a lot of women that was crying when that happened, and it's well overdue. So I applaud President Biden, number one, for having having the guts to go ahead and do it, and number two for the state senators who voted for it. Even we had Republicans senators, so it was not just a Democratic agenda. It was collectively Democrats and Republicans that got there in that seat. So
that damn Mitt Romney, bro. I said, boy, I don't know if they put something in his Kool-Aid down there in Utah, but I was, he's done a couple of things, and I've kind of raised my eye, like, oh, okay, but yeah, I definitely feel. I don't know if I felt, better about that, or when Cory Booker said what he had to say. Man, I felt that in my soul when Cory Booker was talking.
He couldn't hold back the tears.
Man, I almost shoot, man. Look, I think a tear came out of my eye when he was talking, man.
Hey, I mean, it was something to celebrate. It was something to celebrate.
Yeah, but the mosquitoes tearing you up over there too.
And I'm saying, I'm fighting over there.
Yeah, man. And it's really sad that we have to celebrate stuff like this, in 2022. This is stuff that should have been happening, because the thing is we always have to fight harder just to get halfway. And I just kind of feel like this is our time. And definitely she's well qualified, to be in that position. Hopefully we have another seat come up, because I feel like your boy Clarence Thomas needs to sit his whack ass down and just go ahead and retire. But that's a whole nother podcast. But I just feel good that we're at least getting in a position where we're able to place people in these positions. And as much as people complain about Biden, about things that they say that he hasn't done, he's actually done a lot of things that he said that he was going to do. I mean, he got a black vice president, and he definitely got a black woman in the Supreme Court. So definitely kudos to that. I can't even say nothing bad about that, man.
At all. And speaking of, how you kind of touched on it just now. How do you feel about having a black agenda and President Biden and his administration actually are following through? I know you kind of touched on it a little bit. You want to expand a little bit on?
Well, I guess the better question is, do we have a black agenda? I mean, I think that's the better question. I mean, have we had a lot of our leaders just sit down and we just come up with an actual agenda, so we can hold a lot of these people that are in these positions accountable to make sure that they look out for our best interests, because it just seems like we'll scream and to the rooftops, register to vote, go out and vote, and then when people don't vote, we the first ones to complain about everything. So I just think that we need to get organized. We need to go back to the old school grassroots and just organize and just make sure that we have an agenda, so we can hold a lot of these people accountable and not just say, well, y'all ain't doing nothing for black folk. Well, yeah, we not organized to make sure that we hold y'all accountable, so they'll know exactly what to do, because we can holler, we want, look out for the black agenda, but I don't, do we have a black agenda? That's the better question.
I don't think we do. I think it's more to the point as we just want somebody to do the work for us, and we don't invest in the work to ensure that what the agenda is to get it approved and passed. So I think it's going to be incumbent upon us, especially right now. It's election time. We have runoffs going right now. There's going to be next month. Getting folks in place to start doing the work. So folks are always, especially during midterm, and it's an even bigger drop during runoff election, that folks just choose not to go vote. There are propositions also that you have to be considerate of as well. That folks, a lot of time, it's money that's being discussed on those propositions, and it's your money. That's going to be impacted. So that can be through tax increases or whatever. So you got to get engaged at every level, and it's going to start now with these runoff elections that's going to come up on May 7th and also May 24th. So get out to vote.
Yeah, and I think one of the main things too, man, just kind of touching on the agenda thing, we've had the same cry ever since we got off. We was tricked on getting on the boat to even come over here, and that's been jobs and justice. I mean, in the '60s, the March on Washington, the cry was jobs and justice.
Yeah.
Million Man March, jobs and justice. Now we in 2022, and we still are crying jobs and justice. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad that we are in the position where that's the big thing that we have to worry about is, for a policeman shooting us in the back and just trying to get a job that we're qualified for, just like our white counterparts. So it's just always been the same cry, jobs and justice. So I don't know when that'll change. Hopefully it'll change, and I'm definitely being optimistic, and I'm speaking optimistic, but I just don't see it. Hopefully it'll change, but just kind of way things looking.
Status quo. Status quo. That's what I say. Status quo. We'll see.
So
we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see in May who's ready to step up them boots and go.
And then I think that's the thing too, like just voter education as a whole, because I don't think people realize the importance of voting in your local elections. It don't have to be a presidential election for you to go out and vote. Local government, state government is just important as federal government, because you try to get amendments passed, you try to hell, how many times have you driven and you see all these damn potholes and shit in the road that you hidden and all, it's just little stuff like that we have to put people in these positions that's going to look out for our best interests, and that starts at the local level, and it goes up from there. And it goes up from there. So that's why you have to vote in all of these local elections and not just the presidential election. Vote in your off years, get out and vote. Get out and vote. You may not think your vote counts, but your vote counts. I'm telling you, because we've seen candidates lose by like 20, 30 votes. So get out and vote. I mean, all elections, get out and vote.
Speaking of voting, let's talk about that. So I want y'all to be mindful of this upcoming election that just passed. A lot of mail-in ballots were not able to even be cast because of the changes of this voter suppression bill that these I don't even call them Republicans, these fools passed here in Texas that now are making it more harder for you to vote. 23,000 mail-in ballots were not counted due to even a discrepancy, or either one, they had to show how they registered to vote from the beginning. So if they did, we were encouraging folks to put the driver's license and the social security card just to ensure that there's no discrepancy. Because who the hell knows when you originally registered to vote, how you registered, whether it was your ID or it was your social security card. 23,000 folks were not able to cast their vote, including kids that are going to college. We had state representatives, kids that were off at school, that were doing mail-in ballots, that was not able to vote because of these voter suppression bills that's passed. Let that marinate in your spirit for a minute. Let that marinate.
It's like the finish line is always being pushed further and further back. For us, I say. And I don't feel like that we're mean enough and aggressive enough to make sure that we it's sad and it's unfortunate that the finish line is always being pushed further and further back, but until we realize that we have the power to do for ourselves that other folks can't do, we're going to be in the same position. We got the power, we got the numbers, but it's just, we don't take advantage of these situations. We don't take advantage of our numbers and get out. I mean, and it's just simple as that. Just get out and vote. We got the numbers, and we got the numbers and everything. Ms. Hollingsworth says something very, very intriguing. The problem is that they are targeting Black folks, but they hurt all voters. I agree.
Yeah, that's true.
I definitely agree.
100% agree with that. especially
Yeah,
our,
right.
especially our young adults.
Right.
I don't know what it's going to take for them to really capture, like I said, the importance of voting. It's like you watching TikTok or you reviewing YouTube. It's that important. But I don't know what it's going to take. And I have to commend there's a couple of organizations like Next Generation,
Oh yeah. Oh
Dominique
yeah.
Alexander, Black Voters Matters with Deanna LaFay that are doing the work going to college campuses and trying to get folks registered to vote. And I'm missing a couple, so please forgive me. But there's a few, there's quite a few that's actually going out and trying to get the youngsters registered to vote, because if we get the youngsters to vote, game over.
Oh, game over. Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. You know, and the I guess the sad thing is that, you know, you have a lot of millennials that are so in tune, you know, with social media. You know, you have a million social media activists, but then yet still half of them don't even get out there and vote, you know, and actually do the work that matters. You know, they'll make it look good on social media just to get a couple of likes, but you know, where it really counts is getting in there, getting in that voting booth and clicking, you know, saying your support by that name. Until we can do that, until we realize that we have the power, we're gonna be in this same position.
So true. That is so. Teach the value
Yeah,
of voting.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Teach
yeah.
the
You know,
value of voting.
we stand on the shoulders of our ancestors that, you know, was sprayed with water hoses, and some lost their lives, and you know, just to have the right for us to be in this position that we in, and we're not even taking advantage of this position, and you know, that we're in. You know, so you know, it's definitely unfortunate, but you know, that's put on us, and that's why we have to get out and teach the importance of voting, like Miss Hollingsworth said.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow.
You
Mm-hmm.
know,
I agree. Um, Policing in 2022 and versus 1960. Do we have two different justice systems?
man, look, I'm gonna say this, man. The most dangerous place to live is in white folks' imagination. Uh, a, a, a white person can shoot 100 people, uh, have the gun in the air. Police will arrest them knowing that they have the gun
Yeah.
and take them to jail.
Oh,
But we will
even
get
worse.
shot. We
Hold
will
on.
get shot. Look, we
Hold
will get shot just because they think we have a gun. Not even
on.
necessarily that we have, they can think we have a gun, but we gonna get shot just because they think we have a gun. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's police has never been about protect and serve. It's always been about keeping us in our community where quote unquote we belong, and keeping us out of places that they feel like that we don't belong.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Do you think white folks have the same conversation to their children about police that we have?
No, they can't. They can't. If that was the case, they wouldn't have so many mass shootings by white kids. Let's think about this here for a second. Also, you have a person that went to a black church, shot up nine, I think it was 9 or 10 people, walked away with a bulletproof vest on and some Burger King Burger King meal, and nothing happened to him during that transition. Him going to jail.
Had a Whopper meal
Yeah, with cheese, finally.
with cheese,
With cheese.
you know, and like I said, we have, you know what I'm saying, young brothers and sisters getting shot, like I said, just because they think we have a gun. Not even necessarily that we have a gun, just because they think we have a gun.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know, man. It's the more I think about it, the more I get discouraged. But I'm optimistic in the same breath, man. You know, I think eventually we'll get there. I just don't know
Man,
what it's going to require for us to get there. Besides, number one, first of all, trying to get some folks that can help us pass some laws to protect us in that capacity. Just like right now, we have the voter bills. We have the PRO Act, all kind of bills in the House that's passed, just waiting in the Senate. We're letting two senators dictate the whole agenda for us. Senator
yeah.
Senator Manchin, Senator Sinema out of Arizona. They're holding up processes, uh, getting us a good voter bill passed, and also getting us the PRO Act, the right to organize bill passed,
Yeah.
so that folks can organize and form unions without having repercussions or being threatened to lose their job because they're trying to form a union. So I don't know, man. I don't
You know, you got people like Lindsey Graham and what's the one that got the little turkey neck out of Kentucky?
Oh, not Mitt Romney.
Mitch McConnell.
Mitch McConnell.
You know, and it's like they blatant with the racism. You know what I'm saying? And like it just be so blatant. And I don't understand. I don't understand it, man. You know, so you know, as much as we've come so far with, you know, just the advancement, we still have a long way to go.
I agree 100%, man. 100%. So, listeners, let me ask you a question. Please comment to us. Number one, who you would like to have us to have on our future shows. Comment, send that in a comment, because we definitely want to know your feedback. And things you think we can do different to ensure that we continue to keep you listening and viewing us on our Cigar Chronicles
No doubt.
podcast. Trey, one thing we hardly ever talk about. Let's talk about Crowns by Trey. I know you sponsor, but kind of give us some insight as far as if one wants to seek getting one of your fly hats. What would be the processes on getting in touch with you and getting that ball rolling?
I appreciate it, man. I'm actually in the process of updating my website, but I started Crowns by Trade. Just actually started as a hobby. I've always I've been a hat wearer pretty much ever since I've been down here in the Metroplex. But you know, I would really kind of never see anything that I would like per se. So I just kind of started, you know, just kind of accessorizing and just kind of doing my own thing with my hats, and it started as a hobby and ended up becoming a full-fledged business. You know, so you know, I definitely appreciate everybody that supported me. Definitely shout out to my ambassadors and my business partner, Stephen Browder, Stebo. Definitely appreciate the love and support. Ron, you know, everybody, Will, everybody that you know has definitely had my back, in this venture. So, you know, definitely, check me out as Crowns by Trade with a K, Crowns, TRE. I'm on Instagram and on Facebook. And hell, you just reach out to me too, you know. And like I said, I'll definitely get you squared away. I'll get you right.
Cool beans. What are you currently doing now?
Right now, I'm actually doing. I'm actually helping out with a runoff race. I'm out here in Houston right now. I'm working a runoff race down here for a state rep race. Danielle Best. I'm helping her out and trying to get her over that finish line. She has a runoff. Actually, she got a special election and a runoff. You know, what kind of confusing stuff is that? So you got a special election because the current rep that was in the seat retired. So you have the special election on May 7th. So people will get out and vote May 7th. That person that wins that race will be the incumbent and then have to run for the runoff on May 24th. So how confusing is that for people, you know, knowing that they got to get out 2 times, knowing that we can barely even get people to come out once. So we're asking people to come out 3 times to vote. You know, that's where the working lies. You know, that's where, you know, people like me come to play, you know, being that, you know, hey, you know, just making sure that we get people out there to these polling sites and make sure that they get out and vote.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Now I say, man, just always pushing the finish line, man, just making it more harder and harder. And then it discourages a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, people are like, dang, I got to get out and vote again. You know, so it's just like it's always something as far as just, you know, pushing the finish line further and further, you know. And I agree, you know, that's That's where people like us come to play. We have to educate we have to educate our constituents and let them know the importance of getting out and voting, and then just the logistics behind it. Because if I just say come out, you got to get out, you got to vote on May 7th, and then you got to come out on the 24th. That ain't enough. You have to explain why you have to come out. And why it's so important, to get out, and vote.
Yeah, and another thing is, it's not complicated to become a voter deputy registrar. You can go take a class online. It's an hour course. It's via Zoom, and they have an in-person uh, deputy voter registrar that you can do in person, which is about an hour long as well. You can go to DallasCountyVotes.org. It'll be a ticker that's going to slide to the left, and you can do deputy voter registrar. Sign up for the classes, and you can become a deputy voter registrar and register folks to vote. From there, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, and that's there's only a couple states in the nation that you have to be a deputy voter registrar. A lot of states you don't even have to be a deputy registrar. There I think it's like about three states that you actually have to be. I can't remember off the top of my head, but most states you don't even have to be a deputy registrar. But like in states like state we're in Texas, you definitely have to, and it doesn't take long at all. It doesn't take long at all. So please, it's very important and very key. That you get out there. So a lot of times you have neighbors, that's not even registered to vote. So.
And the key is if you move, make sure you update your information. You can go to the post office, get a voter registration, do a change, and update your information that way to ensure that you get your voter registration card. Make sure that you're registered so you don't have that problem. The same, you can also go again to DallasCountyVotes.org. You can check to see if you're a registered voter on that website as well, DallasCountyVotes.org. And you can check your status if you're eligible voter that way as well.
Regardless, and go and check because a lot of people will be in suspense and won't even know it until they get up there to the polling site. Check, go online, check. If you go to the post office, get you a white card, fill out the white card. You can put it in the mail right then and there. It'll take a couple of days. You'll get your card in about a week. They update in the system. As soon as they get it, you'll get your card in a week. So like I said, the process is not hard. We just make it hard. Let it be some tickets, to see, Beyonce or Jay-Z or something like that. We break our neck trying to get them, but things that matter, we always have excuses and really don't want to hold ourselves accountable to make sure that we do what we're supposed to do.
That's true. Back in, I think it was like 2005, I met Terry Hodge, Honorable Terry Hodge, who she was state representative in House District 100, which is a runoff race that's going to be happening on the ballot on May 24th. So make sure you vote. And man, I'm telling you, that's probably the most important person that I think I've ever met, and I'm thankful that I met her because she is a very, very, very educated young lady, and she knows everything. I don't know if you watched the the episode. It was either the closer or no, it was a tribute to Dave Chappelle when he was speaking about his mom and her mom. They used to call her. He said he looked at her as like a griot, and what a griot is she carries a lot of information, and when a person like that dies, you lose a lot of history and information. And so I call Miss Terry a griot because I can call her about anything. And I'm telling you, if she don't have an answer at that present moment, she'll say, "Hold on, let me call you right back." And I'm telling you, within a few minutes, she calling back with an answer, telephone number. We had a scenario at our office where we had a whole part of our parking lot collapsed. So somehow it was water that was getting up under the parking lot, and it caused a sinkhole. And we didn't know what to do. They were talking about it was our issue, but it was within the driveway and within the sidewalk in the grass. And so I called the man, and she told me, man, you need to call such and such, such and such. Called them, and that expense was going to be almost $10,000, and they end up being that the city carried for it just because, like I said, she was able to give me the information to get the assistance and to ensure that that was done and it wasn't an expense on us, man. So shout out to Miss Terry, Honorable Terry Hodge, and I love her to death. And I tell you, she will be on our show soon.
Woo!
So if you don't watch nothing else, that's
Yeah.
gonna be a dynamic show because I'm telling you, when she speaks truth. She speaks. I can't even say eloquent. And I'm telling you, it's gonna be a dynamic show. So tune in, because she's coming. Question was, when is the last day to register to participate in the May 24th election? God, you know the date off right off. I think it's only 30 days before the election. So let me see.
Yeah, it's 30 days before the actual election, because I know early vote starts on the 25th of this month. For the well, I'm speaking for down here in Houston, but I know April 25th. Yeah, April 25th.
Is it April 25th?
Yeah,
Okay, I believe it's going to be. I'm like, who's that Facebook user? Yeah, April 25th.
yeah,
Thank you,
yeah.
Ivan Dawkins. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you, man. Appreciate that.
Appreciate that, OG.
Appreciate you having that lunch with us, man, and bringing us on board, man. We'll never forget
Appreciate
that.
that, man.
Never
Appreciate
forget
that,
that, man.
man.
Thank you for that, brother. Thank you so much.
Yeah, what you over there smoking, man?
I am smoking the 20th century.
20th anniversary, man. You
20th,
ain't voting no.
20th
Yeah,
anniversary. 20th anniversary. I'm sorry. I'm doing too much. I'm trying to look up something and then talk.
that's the Japanese whiskey you over there drinking.
I don't know. I just started. I ain't got but 2 sips in, man. Let me just a second. All
You know
right.
what? And actually, if you had to grade President Biden's time in office right now, what grade would what grade would you give him, and why?
I would probably give him maybe a B, maybe a B minus. Another reason that this is handling when the handling with the withdrawal was a kind of a cluster.
Yeah,
That was, I think that could have been handled differently. I think within his control, I think he's been pretty solid on his agenda on what he ran on. Um, I think he should implement more sanctions with this Ukraine and Russia.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
I think that should be something he really need to consider, not just the ones he's done, but something more tightening so that it really hurts the economy for Russia to stop what they're doing over there. Um, Definitely applaud him for the nomination for the Supreme Court. Uh, Other than that, I don't have no issues with anything else that he's done, man. He's been pretty solid, especially with supporting labor agenda, the National Labor Board. Man, that was incredible for him to get the previous labor board. I guess he was a general counsel. Get him to basically resign. No, he fired him actually, and to get some more labor friendly on the National Labor Relations Board, so that we can get some labor agendas on that side to be passed. So, other than that, man,
right.
I have no issues.
Yeah.
With
I'll probably give him C plus B minus. Thing is, I don't think people realize that he's put in a position where he has to clean up the shit that Trump just got in and just did whatever the hell he wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? So he cleaned up that mess. Kind of like what happened to President Obama. he had to come in, with Bush and all that stuff that he messed up. So it's almost like you need 4 years just to clean up that shit. Saying before you could actually, kind of run on things that you said that you was gonna do. So I mean, I really don't have too much to say. I mean, I definitely agree with everything that you say, especially with the sanctions and things like that. But I think he's done a pretty good job. I think that the next presidential election is going to say a lot as far as just with uh, where the country is going to be moving forward. If he decides to run again, which I'm pretty sure he is, I just think that we have to put people in these positions, that's going to look out for the betterment of us, and really, because it's really not even about us, it's about our kids and our kids' kids. So I think that he's done a pretty good job on that. As far as just with the cards that he's been dealt, and he, like I said, he's definitely put blacks in some positions that I definitely applaud. He said he was going to get a sister as his VP running mate, and he did it. He got a sister in the Supreme Court. He said he was going to do it. He did it. Yeah. So it's almost just kind of like, well, what really can you say?
He did it. So, and speaking of that, there's been a lot of folks that are saying, well, where's Vice President? Where is she at? Why she's not, in the limelight as far as her agenda? What do you say to folks that, number one, don't understand her role as the Vice President? What would you say to them that are naysayers with regards to what they say as far as the job that she's done as Vice President?
Well, I mean, even if you look back in history and look at the different vice presidents that we had back in history, a lot of them didn't make major noise because the vice president is supposed to be over the U.S. Senate. So, and actually, they are the tie-breaking vote for the U.S. Senate. So it's almost like what do you expect her to do? Mm-hmm. What did Pence do? Beside make sure that his hair was slicked down all the time. Every time, even when Obama was in office, the only time you really see Biden is when they did the State of the Union addresses. That he'll be back there smiling and pointing, and I mean, you really didn't see anything because that's their. that's the responsibility of the vice president. I always say the sources that surround power is really the real power.
Mm-hmm. That's true. And another thing folks got to always be mindful of is the vice president work under the direction of the president. So whatever he assigns her or him to do in that capacity, that's what they do. In addition to their role as basically the chair for the Senate, they work under the direction of the president. So that's my say to him. And somebody said, I say, did you ask about Pence?
and I think too, a lot of times people have this imagination, especially with like a lot of these TV shows and stuff like Scandal. People think that the vice president that was on that, that's how a vice president is supposed to be. And that's just not a reality. What I'm saying? Like you were saying before. So that's what I have to say about that, man.
You said it. You said it. So go ahead.
I was gonna say, man, I'm real excited. And I definitely can't wait till we get Terry, Honorable Terry Hodge on the show, man, because I know that she's gonna break down a lot of things, seen and unseen, and I emphasize unseen. Stuff. The politics behind politics, because it's definitely politics behind politics. I've seen a lot, and I was real fortunate to kind of come in on the tail end of like the grassroots effort. My mentor, God rest his soul, was Carol Willis, and like I said, he taught me a lot. Like I said, seen and unseen. And I definitely saw a lot, the good and the bad. So, I just think that, we should really just focus on the good, but we need to, like I said, just think about, like I said, stuff like the voter suppression laws and things like that. We have to get out and do the work. We can't expect for folks to do the work for us that we can do for ourselves.
I agree 100%. I agree 100%. So let me ask you one other question. If you could have dinner with three people, dead or alive, who would that be and why?
Oh, good question, man. Yeah, that's a damn good question. Definitely one, man. I would definitely like to have dinner with my mentor one more time, man. Carol Willis. Man, he taught me. He was like another father to me. I definitely have a father. I love my dad to death, but he was like another father to me, and he taught me so much. So I would definitely like to have dinner with him. Uh, Next person would probably be Stokely Carmichael, Kwame Ture. Um, you know, just his vision, especially going through the whole 60s and 70s with the Black Panther movement, and just kind of his teachings and things that he was saying. I still listen to a lot of his lectures and stuff to this day. A lot of times I'll wake up in the morning and I throw some YouTube on, and I listen to a lot of things that he was saying. Um, I know I'm supposed to say Barack Obama, but I've met him a couple of times, so I really can't say him. So probably that third one, probably Barbara Jordan. I would definitely say Barbara Jordan. She was definitely a trailblazer. She did a lot of things that wasn't the norm and wasn't popular, back in the day. So I would definitely like to sit down, chop it up with her over a cigar, and just kind of talk about things that she's done, um, you know, in that time.
Who is this? This
And that's
who?
that's Terry.
Terry.
Yeah.
Barbara
Uh,
Jordan, the children of my father.
yeah, her dad was a real big trailblazer. Like I said, I'm from Arkansas, and her dad was definitely a trailblazer. He's a big time lawyer, and like I said, man, everybody knew who Les was, and everybody knew not to mess with Les. Don't mess with Les. Well, what about you, man?
Well, I definitely Barack Obama. And I'll tell you a funny story. We had a CWA convention. I think it was in D.C. and he came, and I don't know if I think it was before he ran for office. And he was coming down the elevator, man. And I got starstruck, man. I couldn't even talk. I could not say nothing. He came down like Rick James, man. Like he had an aura around him, man. I'm like, I'm, I could not say nothing to this guy, man. But that would be my bucket. I'm going to meet him. I'm going to have a conversation with him, but that would be probably one for sure. My second one would probably be, um, I won't say Martin Luther King, but I think I would rather have lunch with Malcolm X just to see, like, his transition, number one,
Yeah, yeah.
and then to how he went through that, and then how he ended up, you know, the people that he was really, ready to die for, was the ones that really killed him. Just to see it, that whole transition, how he started and how it ended. So I would love to have a conversation and dinner with him and kind of discuss that. And my third one, man, it would be T.D. Jakes. I just think that dude, man, he is a powerful, powerful, powerful speaker. And I mean, I think if you say Crayola, he can preach a sermon on a crayon, and make it to the point that I mean, it's just a dynamic, speech. So I would love to have a sit down with T.D. Jakes and just kind of pick his brain, and just see his life story, how he started, and where he is today, being a powerful, powerful man, and here in the United States and abroad. So that would be my top three.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
Now let me ask you this, man. You can jump in the time machine and you can go back to 18-year-old Ernest Tilley, what would 38-year-old Ernest Tilley tell 18-year-old Ernest Tilley?
Sit down somewhere, man. Sit down. Because I mean, as far as my upbringing, I didn't really have a bad childhood, man. My mom was, my dad died when I was 15, so my mom, she raised, 5 boys and 1 girl, and she just kind of took it and ran with it, man. It really we didn't really have to want for nothing. I was telling a friend of mine the other day, my mom bought me a $3,000 stereo system in Montgomery Ward and probably paid on it for 20 years. but probably paid $10 a month for it forever. But I would tell myself, man, that this stuff I was doing, it wasn't none of that. You know how you be a product of your environment and you just choose to do stuff. You know it's wrong, but you just doing it just because, man. I would tell myself, man, to sit down and focus. I wish I would have, went to college and got some form of degree, and did something. I think I'm doing okay, but I think I would tell myself just to sit down, man, and just stop getting into stuff that that I didn't have to, but just chose to.
Well, sometimes, man, I'm just gonna piggyback off what you said. Sometimes this thing called life is the best college degree that we could ask for. Man. Actually having to go through things and overcome things, because it's not about Disney World and when things are all up and flowers and nice and things like that. It's about when you have to go through things that's going to show your real character and show who you are as a person. Sometimes life is the best teacher, man. Life is the best form of flattery, I say, in any day. Like I said, man, I think that has put me in a position where I'm, the man I am now, to actually have to go through things and not, try to, ask folks, man, I think figure that, I just have to figure that shit out myself, of course with God, but, I just have to figure it out myself. So I definitely agree with you on that, man.
Yeah. Other than that, man, whoa, boy, I'm telling you, time flies, man.
Boy, it fly. Now I'm gonna answer that same question. The only thing that I would probably go back and tell my 18-year-old self is just to be more consistent. Now I was kind of all over the place when I was 18. I just have to, just kind of be more consistent, man. Just be more consistent. When I have a goal, when I have long-term goals, and I have short-term goals, to see it through. Not just start it and not finish it, but actually see it through. So that's what I'd probably tell my 18-year-old self, hey, Tremont, see that shit through, bro, and don't start something and don't finish.
I agree 100%. Wow. Well, man, we 2 minutes out, man. You want to go ahead and close us out? Again, we want to thank everybody for joining us today. We'll be back here again next week. Dre, take us home, boss.
Yes, sir. Shout out BS3 Network. Thank you so much, Ivan, Ben. We appreciate the opportunity. We appreciate the platform that y'all have given us, to let us, to get on here, smoke a cigar, talk about politics, in the barbershop setting, just raw and uncut. We definitely appreciate it. All our podcast affiliates, Roku TV. Thank you. You can definitely check us out on Roku TV as well. All Roku TV affiliates. Definitely shout out to our sponsors. Our new sponsor, Cajun Mouth in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I say Nevada and not Nevada. That shows you I've been there a couple times. Crowns by Trey. I'll hook you up. When you're ready for a hat piece. No, I'm sorry. We ready for a crown because we come from kings and queens. So that's why it's called crowns. So we wear crowns on top of our head. Also, Soul Brother Cigar, last but not least. We definitely want to give a shout out to Wing Snob. Definitely, they just have better wings. They marinate their meat. They don't freeze their wings. They don't freeze their chicken. Everything is marinated overnight. Definitely check them out. Like I said, we definitely appreciate the opportunity to be on here and just, like I said, just to shoot the breeze and everything. Definitely want to say big fight this weekend. Let's go Earl Spence.
Y'all, let's on, baby.
Yeah, let's go Earl Spence. Definitely shout out to everybody that even have the courage to run for office. Definitely want to send a shout out to Terry Hollingsworth. She's down in Arkansas. She's down there being a trailblazer. She's the first black woman to actually hold that seat as county clerk. So we definitely appreciate the work and everything that she's doing down there. Everybody that's in Dallas County, everybody's down here in Houston, and I'm loving Houston. Lord have mercy, I love it down here. We definitely want to thank everybody for tuning in. We'll definitely be same back channel, same back place, same back channel. We'll definitely be here next week. We definitely appreciate it. But Ernest, just go ahead, man. Close the video. We appreciate it.
Y'all have a good night. Thank y'all again for tuning in. Have a good evening.